Hello, it's Kevin the English Mystic, and our next speaker is Victoria Jane Chisholm, a dragon energy and elemental healing specialist from Scotland and founder of the Intuitive Listener. With over a decade of experience, Victoria guides spiritual seekers to connect deeply with the dragons and the Dragon Fae energies, those ancient, powerful lineages tied to realms like Avalon and Atlantis. Her work helps those carrying the Dragon Fae's ancestral trauma to heal, to reclaim their true power, and find belonging. Alongside dragons, she also works with elemental beings like mermaids, the fae, unicorns to support profound spiritual growth. And today she's talking about the Dragon Fae. Victoria, welcome.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How's you today?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Just enjoying, well, half enjoying, half in hating the heat up here in Scotland today.
That's unusual. It's unusual actually for the whole of the UK. This last month or so has been
Y-
amazing, hasn't it?
I know it's been very unusual, as you said. It's just been all over the shop, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready for some cooler weather or some rain to come now. Because all the riverbeds up here, they're like so low just now.
Yeah.
It's so unusual to see that. I'm just like, okay, we need some rain. Just
Heading for a drought otherwise. Yeah, I was
yeah,
just looking at the forecast, and because we've got horses, so every morning I'm looking at the forecast, right? What am I putting on my horse today? And I
yeah,
saw that the temperature next week or this weekend, it crashes like by
yeah,
10 degrees, goes back to what it normally is, dull,
yeah.
grey.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's just nuts. I mean, my daughter was out yesterday. She does pony club on a Sunday.
All
And
right.
so she was out with the horses and then doing all the stable management side afterwards. And my parents, the house they have, they've got stables at the bottom of it. It's currently used as storage, not as stables for their needs. But she's very much a case of, we just need to move some of this stuff out, Nanny and Guy. We need to just shift this out.
Good for her.
Oh
You
yeah, I
get 'em
mean,
in, get 'em in order.
yeah.
I think,
Well, that's the thing. There's no doubt there's a horse coming in to this area in the future. I have no doubt on this. It's just a matter of when.
but she needs to sell it. She should say it will keep me away from boys for longer.
Well, that's kind of what everyone my father has spoken to is they've said, oh no, it keeps them away from boys for longer. It keeps them much more focused. And for me, it's like teaches her responsibility. She's got to
Mm,
care for some. She already does that with her cat. She's
yeah,
grown up around cats and dogs her whole life. But horses for her are just something else entirely. It's just the air she breathes. And I fully respect that because I was very much that way when she was young. And
yeah.
I still love horses now. I don't ride, but still absolutely adore horses. She's got a lot more talent than I ever had. So that's her.
Yeah, they are a beautiful energy, that's for sure. The one that I'm human to, she's
Yeah.
30 now, so
Oh,
she's doing
beautiful.
well. My wife's one was 33. We had to let her
Yeah,
go a couple of months ago, but even so,
yeah.
they're
It's
beautiful.
heartbreaking when you have to let them go.
It is, yeah, but it's
Yeah,
the same with any pet, isn't it? Because you actually spend more time. A friend of ours, his dog went recently. It was 12, and
yeah,
he was like, it was harder for me, he said, than when my father died because he said, I see my father 3 or 4 times a year. Yeah, I saw him
yeah,
every day when I was a kid, but I haven't seen him
yeah,
probably for like 30, 40 years. And then there he
yes.
is, my dog. I walk it twice a day, blah blah blah. But
But
yeah,
yeah,
it becomes part
no,
of your
I've
life.
got
You miss it.
yeah, we have a cat in the apartment we're in just now that's very much
Mm,
my daughter's cat.
yeah.
But my mum and dad's house, I have my dog Chase. He's been blind since he was 8 weeks old. He's never
Oh,
had
bless.
any sight at all. He is coming up to 15 this year,
Wow.
and now I know I'm living on borrowed time with him now because we've got the limps coming in, we've got
Yeah.
days that we're just but the thing is, he's deaf, he's blind, his sense of smell is not good. And he still gets up every day. He eats his food, he goes outside, he wanders around the garden. He's got a good quality of life. And this is what me and my mum are both finding so hard, is he drives them mental. And I was like, yeah, but he's happy. This thing is, he's content. He's not in my place because he hates getting a lead over and off his head. So
Yeah.
they've got a beautiful big garden and 8 acres of land. So it's just like, let's just put him out in the back garden. He does his thing. He wants to sunbathe. He's
Bless.
he's got a very good cushy life, and he's got these two young cats. He's grown up with cats his whole life, so cats are nothing to him.
Damn.
And when my mum lost her second eldest last year, she was without cats for about a week. He just went into his shell. He was just like, "Oh, there's no one here."
Oh, bless.
So, no, she has these two little ones now, and they're just keeping him on his toes. But the boy cat, Leo, he is big, red, he's huge. He's a Norwegian forest Persian mix.
Oh, blimey. Yeah, they're
Oh
huge,
yeah.
aren't they?
Oh, he's
That's a
huge.
tiger.
Yeah, he is. But he's a cracking little guy. He's so soft, so lovely, really nice nature. But he's dumb. He is literally so dumb because the dog can't see where he's walking to. The cat should have the sense to get out of the way. The amount of times that they've stepped on each other, walked about, I'm just like, oh my Lord, which one of you is? And I go in and they both run to me every time I go in. I was like, okay, jealousy here much. So yeah. But oh, I'm
How,
really excited to be speaking with you today.
it's lovely to meet you, Lars. I've seen you around a bit, and I think it was Viviana that
Yeah,
spoke to you recently, and I just found one of her posts from a while ago, an email there. It's like, as I was
yeah,
searching for you, it's like, oh yeah, that's why.
yeah.
Yeah. So you're in,
No,
Is it Perthshire? Where you?
I'm Perthshire based. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
Stanley based. I don't know if you know Stanley outside Perth, but
I don't
it's
know.
no, it's a nice little area. I live in these old historic mills, so I
Uh,
absolutely love the area. I'm from Aberdeen originally, but I grew up in Aberdeen, and Aberdeen never felt like home. It was just
mm.
too. I always ran away to the countryside at the weekends, so I'm like completely in my element down here. But I'm just like, okay, the place where you are, it's an amazing apartment. Absolutely adore it. A great area. But we've outgrown it. So we are
Yeah.
looking to move. And I was just like, okay, but I need somewhere quiet. I'm not good with a lot of sounds and a lot of hubbub. So it needs to be. So I've been dragging my feet and taking my time for about 3 years.
But rural's good. We're rural as well. We're
Yeah.
currently renting and looking to buy something next year. We moved from Buckinghamshire that got
Yeah.
very busy. I was
Yeah.
originally from South London, from Croydon, which was very busy, and I spent my whole
Yeah.
life trying to escape. And here we've got a few neighbours, and we've got the horses just literally there, 10 feet away. There's about 50 sheep, neighbours' sheep helping eat the grass. There's 4 acres,
Congrats.
and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I can hear two dogs barking. Oh, I can hear a tractor.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, every now and again, a plane will go over, very rarely.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's peace, isn't it? It's
It is.
that
It's just
silence.
it's a much more Zen way of living.
Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, I have a river on this side. I have fields with sheep on that side. I'm
Mm.
beautiful next to this beautiful historic museum. So apart from a little bit of school trips in the summertime,
Yeah.
it's very chill. It's very calm, very relaxing. A bit like yourselves, there's not much in the way of major sounds coming about you all the time. We get the fighter jets over us because they do training in this area occasionally.
Yeah, we get those as well. They do the U-turns. Normally when
Yes.
I'm lunging the horse, I'm like,
Yeah, it's when
what?
I get one at 2 in the morning over the flats, I'm like, oh my God, do I need to worry about something? Otherwise, let me just go away.
Yeah, we're near Dartmoor, so they have a lot of
Oh
things
yeah,
going on there. And they have the Chinooks coming in.
yeah. We're not
You'll
far
hear
from
it
the
a mile away.
Lossiemouth base up in Elgin Way, so it's
Yeah.
always their planes that are coming down and around.
Bless them.
Yeah. But no, it was her that got in touch with me and was speaking. I'd known about the Dragon Thunder Summit for a while, but I had just never really put myself forward because I was a little bit shy and a little bit nervous to
Yeah.
enter the fold of it. So no, I met her after I had done the Okolono summit 2 years ago. She'd
Mm.
reached out to me about the deck she was making, the
Yeah.
Dragon Crystal deck. And I was just like, oh, that's so cool. And we had this complete, very casual geek out session over dragons and everything. So that's how I got in contact with her good self. And we've been chatting ever since on and off.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that's the one thing about the dragons came to me 3 years ago and said there's all these people out there talking about dragons,
Yeah.
and we need you to pull them together. We need a summit. And I spoke to a few different people, and I was like Caroline, the original Dragon Lady. She's like, I've had that message as well, but I didn't do anything about it. She said, good for you for doing something about it. And then,
I
now
love
our
when we
third year.
Yeah, I love when we speak to other people that have had the exact same message and it's just like an extra validation. And I love when we get the action takers like yourself and so on that move forward with it. I mean, I had dragon energy come into my life very, very young, like
Mm.
10, 12 years old.
Oh wow.
And it was just so prominent, but I couldn't work out what it was to start.
Mm.
For the longest time, I didn't know. I'd already figured out, okay, that's ancestor, that's angel, that's fae. And I was just like, I don't have a name for you. And yet, I think I would probably been late teens, early 20s. And people were coming up, and the information, I was like, okay, that sounds like the energy I'm dealing with, but you're saying it's negative and it's
Mm.
dark night. And I was like, no, this
Yeah.
does not sit. And the more I did investigations, I think I then found like Doreen Virtue books at the time. And I was like, ah, okay, this is making
Yeah.
a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
This matches. And then it just got strong. As my gifts grew, it got stronger. The connection got stronger. But it wasn't until my daughter was born 10 years ago that they came in like, okay, you've had this vacation from all things spiritual for about 3 years. We're taking you right back into the fold. And this is what we're doing with you. I was like, okay, I'm sitting up and paying attention now.
That's often
Uh,
the way when they come in. It is a bit of a case of like, wake up,
Yeah,
get on with it.
I always say to my clients, it's like if you keep ignoring the message from the dragons, they're going to hit you over the head with a 2x4. There is no way
Yeah.
to say it any other way.
You cannot
Once it,
escape.
yeah, it is. It's just like you've got to
Yeah.
get with the program.
Yeah. Just stop and listen and find out what you need to do, and don't worry about it. So many people. The main message I always get is people are like, "Oh, I thought I was the only one that spoke to dragons," and then I
Yeah,
was afraid to tell the world about it, and then oh, I'm not sure about stepping forward. And I just see people all on the route. And over the years, I've sort of seen people that, like yourself, like say,
mhm,
"Okay, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to put myself out there," and
yes,
then their life just blossoms, and they just like you're like, "Wow, that's amazing."
yeah.
I love seeing it when
It's
people
a great
wake
experience,
it up.
isn't it?
Mm.
It's a great, and I love seeing people do their books. Like you've done a few different things of late that I've seen up on my feed, and I love seeing new tarot decks and new oracles and new things. And I'm just like, oh yeah, this is brilliant. And then I see other people talk about them in a different way, and I was like, okay, that's not the way I see them. So I don't know how to react to different things at times.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I've noticed, because I mean, must be about 50 different speakers that I've spoken to now. There's a lot of different views.
There
The
is.
one thing is that they, like you say, they're not evil. They're not. They're yeah, dark. There are a darker energy out there because it's
Yeah.
like anything, and some
Mhm.
people who are working in the dark energy do have dragons and other things as
Yeah.
their familiars. So it's possible, but the main message is that they're here to assist us in whatever way it is, through to
Yeah.
finding a parking space, through to the complete soul ascension. Yeah, and you get to choose where it is. They would like you to go to full soul ascension ideally, but they'll start with a little bit and push you along. And
Yes.
that's the general message I get, whatever flavour they are or colour, or whether they're with the Fae, or whether the mermaids, or whether they're on their own, or whether they're from Victoria, or yeah,
Yeah.
the same message is there, whether they're from the crystals and I
Yeah.
just love seeing that they're in everything.
Yeah, that's my thing as well. I love seeing all the overlap because I always say I'm like an elemental energy healer because I work with the Fae, the dragons, the Dragon Fae, the Kitsus, the unicorns, Pegasus, mermaids, the whole nine yards. And I
Yeah,
jump around between like Atlantis, Avalon, Lemuria, all that
yeah,
as well and have a great time with it. But I keep coming back to the dragons. It's like the dragons are what I talk about mainly. The Dragon Fae is the second biggest
mm,
one I talk about. And I just have fun with them because people are like, how do you connect? I was like, well, I got into it with, just having an open mind, some
mm,
oracle card decks, meditation, and even now it's so casual. It's just like, yeah, they're always around. I don't, they're just dialed up. I always say, I've probably got about 50 dragons kicking about my living room, just all having a nap right now and just very chill. Don't really need to think about it. They're just there.
yeah, yeah. And I think when people first connect, it's all a bit about a big ritual and a big story. And
Yes.
with my shamanic background, I'm happy to deliver that. But I say, really, they want to be as familiar as you breathing. They're
Yeah.
here all the time. You use them
Yeah.
all the time. Don't make it like it's some big thing. Magic's
Mhm.
real, or else
Yeah.
people go, oh, okay.
I also think it's people's self-beliefs that get in the way at times. It's just stop them
Yeah,
connecting.
they don't feel worthy. I'm not worthy. I'm a
Yeah,
big, powerful dragon. Well, of course you
yeah,
are. You're on an
exactly.
equal plane. Don't put them on a pedestal. You're all the same.
Yeah,
They're just as like, wow, I'm honoured to work with this human. And you're like,
yes,
oh, are
exactly.
they? It's like, of course they are.
Yes.
Come on.
They want to be friends. They want to make that connection and get the
Yeah,
energy back and forth going.
yeah, exactly. Cool. So, do you want to talk about the Dragon Fae?
Yes, the Dragon Fae today, because they are so unique. They are literally like on a spectrum. I have no other way to put it. But it's like literally, obviously, dragons, fae, but you also have human, goddess, angel energy, mer energy. They are just such a sorry, I can't lost my words. Such a range of a spectrum variety. That was the word I was trying to aim for. Sorry, I have in the last year and a half I've been diagnosed with long COVID, chronic fatigue, POTS, and PME. So I'm still finding my new normal and have little glitches, as I call them.
It's all good.
But literally, I find people that relate, I'm seeing more people of DragonFae lineage pop up in my clients. Literally, these are the people that have always felt the outsiders, didn't even feel at home in their own families. They can have had a bad history of mental health issues, from anxiety to depression and everything in between.
Yeah,
And the Dragon Fae, when you look back across the lifetimes and the lineages, particularly with Avalon and not so much Avalon actually, Atlantis and Lemuria, they have gone through so many traumas. They've been hunted, they've been moved on from their grounds, they have had body issues. And I usually find people that work with, well, that have Dragon Fae lineage, they have not always loved their bodies. That's the way I'm going to put it. They've had those periods of they felt too big, they felt too skinny, they just didn't like the way they looked, felt in their own skin,
mm,
all of that. And that makes a lot of sense when you see a lot of these journeys that people have had their wings bound, they've been told to hide, they've been pushed out and into unsavory sides of life. So sometimes these people have battled addictions and things like that in the past too. But the Dragon Fae, when it's us as humans looking for help with them, they want to nurture you because they want to give you that acceptance you've never had, that
mm,
they've never had. They want to hold you. They want you to get back down into your heart center. They want to really ground you. There's names like Morgana Le Fay, Bridget, um, who's the other one? Nimue, that people know, and the Morgana too, that come up all the time in different folklore and mythology in different places. So they are prominent as actually one of the some of the five queens of the Dragon Fae realm. And I've been so honored to meet an individual as well that it was in a mystical business school we were in program. And she was doing this interview with the person that ran it, and she was introducing herself as a galactic fae. And we were like two naughty kids on the sidelines of this interview, going, messaging each other back and forth, like, I need to speak to you after. Yep, I know, we've got to speak to you too. Um, and literally, I think one of the first conversations we had away from that platform, that energy, was, hey, I don't know if you can help me here. But she says, I know I was a fae, but I don't just feel a fae, I feel something else as well. And
uh-huh,
I know that I jumped through portals from my realm into Avalon. And I said, mm-hmm. I said, were you working with anyone? She said, oh, yes. And she told me the name. I was like, you were working with Lady Queen Tatiana of the Dragonfly realm. You were her personal advisor. And I was rattling this all off for just not even what I call like skim mode, just what's coming down straight away. Don't need to have anything in front of me.
yep.
And she was like, oh my God, she said, you just answered so many questions I had in literally the last 4 years. These things keep coming up. And I was like, well, that's what that is. So it's literally been encounters like that that
Mm,
I have really had more. And in the last 2 years, they've been getting me to focus more because they've obviously with the Dragon Fae, you automatically go to the earthbound connections. But as I've discovered with all the elementals, there's the galactic connections, there's the starseed connections. So with my Dragons of the Universe healing modality, this is the Dragon Fae of the Cosmos healing modality I play around with as well. So we've now done like starburst treatment shamanic journeys and lots of different things like that as well now. So
Beautiful. It's just the word "fey" as well. There's something about it.
yeah,
Isn't there?
it just
There's
sounds,
feel the magic.
yeah, I think so as well. And I find them, people are either totally okay with their appearance or they're not because they do have the embodiment of human, dragon, fae, and elf. Quite often to me, they look quite elfish
Mhm.
energy. So it's something that people either warm to or they're like, oh, what the hell is that? And it was like, yeah, it's like, oh, but they didn't have good upbringings. It was a bit of a violent mating for, human dragon thing. And I said, no, but I don't know of any culture or any religion on the planet that's had a perfectly clean sheet.
Well, yeah, exactly. I don't think there is one.
I don't think that's my point. I don't think there is one. But I do think this is why a lot of them were seen as outcasts because they didn't fit either clan, either
Yeah,
um,
because
home.
you're a mixture, aren't you? So you don't
Yeah.
quite feel that you fit in either one, and we feel like we need to be part of a clan, don't we? Rather than
Yes.
a unique being. Yeah.
Yes, exactly that. So I really enjoy speaking about them. I should have probably been speaking about them more over the years than I have done because I keep thinking, are people ready for this? Are they ready to get down into the nitty-gritty? What I've noticed in some dragon communities, people have referred to them as dragon kin. I was like, okay, I can see that. What you call dragon kin, I would call dragon fae, but
Mm,
it's very much the same sort of spectrum again.
yeah, makes sense. I think people are ready. I'm
Mhm.
noticing that people are people that I in the past, if I'd spoken to them about dragons, like an accountant friend or even a vet
Yeah.
friend, that just like their eyes would have rolled and they would have gone.
Yes.
Now they're not. Now they're actually joining the groups and they're saying, I'm unfolding my inner dragon and things like that. I'm hearing it a
Yeah.
lot more. I think
Yeah.
people are ready for the
I
fae,
think
the
they are.
dragons, the mermaids, and the whole remit.
Yeah, just the whole spectrum of it. I mean, in the last 10 years for me, I've noticed a big change.
Mm,
Like people are coming out, they're speaking about it more. Because I still remember the days in the magical communities that you couldn't touch the subject dragons without getting judged. And I
yeah.
always found that very odd. I was like, why? And
Mm,
one of the other energies that I work with at times is vampire energy. And I got into that with my first magical mentor when early 20s. And I was just like, oh, but is this not really dark? Is this not? And I think that was my first wake up call, turning point of view on certain things. Because I was like, no, these guys just want to help.
yeah.
No, it's like a redemption arc for some of them.
Mhm.
It's just like, but they still very much instill that deep warrior energy we all have within us. It just takes for some of us a longer period of time or the right circumstances for it to come out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Makes sense.
that,
But it's like the witch. You say witch in the past. That was an insult. You witch.
yes,
Now it's like, oh, thanks. I know I am.
yeah,
And
it
that's
was.
come out as well with people that yeah, the magic, the whole area is becoming
Mhm.
more more common. And that's one of the
Yeah,
things the dragons first said to me. We want you to think of magic as is real as breathing. It's just
yeah,
here. It's here. You're not. It's not waking up. Your frequency is getting higher, and that's why you're seeing all the elementals more. They never
yeah.
went away. They're always here. You just stop looking.
Exactly. I always say to people that sometimes, like the dragons, the kitsus, the unicorns, they all decided to jump to the astral realms when humanity wasn't listening and wasn't
Mm,
behaving in a respectful way to them anymore. But
yeah,
now we're seeing them come back down in interaction and testing the waters with humanity again. And I feel like a lot of them, like I see a lot of people post about dragons hidden in mountains and things like that, and landmarks throughout the world.
yeah, yeah,
And I think honestly, some of them will wake up, others won't
yeah.
in time, which I think is going to be amazing to watch people's faces just hit the floor. But that might just be my sort of sense of humor.
I saw one once in Peru. I was in a ceremony and having some plant medicine things, and I looked at it. And I thought, "There's a dragon there," and like many people see just the eye. This eye sort of opened very, very slowly. And
Yeah.
I thought, "Oh, I connected." I connected it. It was like it looked. It closed its eye, and all I heard was like, "It's too early." I
Yeah.
was like, "Okay,
Yes, it's
fine.
it's too early. Don't wake me up.
Yeah, give me
Just
another
don't.
couple of centuries, maybe more."
As one of my client said to me once, he says, "Well, think about it. We were both moaning about weight. We like we eat ridiculously healthy diets, but neither of us shed any weight quickly." And he's like, "We need to think about this logically for a second. Has anyone ever seen a skinny dragon?" I said, "You may actually be onto something there."
It's true, but who said you have to be skinny? Who says you need what? Who
Yeah,
decides what size we need to be? If
I know.
whatever
I
size you're comfortable with is the important thing, isn't it?
Well, that's kind of my theory as well. It's like as long as you're trying your best and you're doing what's best for your body, just the rest of it can just go to hell, basically.
Exactly.
So.
Cool.
Okay.
What else would you like to share about the Dragon Fae?
What else would I like to share about the Dragon Fae? The Dragon Fae are so multi-versatile, and I think they're actually, in some ways, slightly easier for people to dip their feet into. If you're sitting there unsure about the realms of the dragon, if that's the right fit, and you just feel you need someone that is communicating with you on an easier level, the Dragonfae know how to be soft. They know how to be reassuring. They know when to really push. I always say one of the big ones that will really push you and will not let you run from anything, from fears, traumas. Like if you need to work through something to get to that next level, you've got to work with the Wild Huntress. She will kick your butt. There is no other way I can put that. But she is very direct and she always comes forward to me on this cliff top in this under moonlight with walking through these castle ruins is
Mm,
basically, and she will put you through your paces as you walk this or move around with her.
right.
Her energy is just so prominent. Then you also have, of course, I should be mentioning this right away, is Tiamat. Tiamat is connected to this realm as well. And she's literally the energy of just pure strength. Like you think you're down on the ground and you've hit rock bottom. I've been there. Come on, I'm pulling you up by your neck like a
Mm,
kitten. Let's get back into this. You're stronger than you think. Let's rebuild. And that's how they attack everything. It's like, okay, this is where you are right now. We're going to start building from here.
mm,
But like everything in life, you've got to put the action steps in. So you've got to keep building that connection with them, following the advice you get. They will move forward in such a way that you cannot expect to stay where you are. If you're still hiding behind the belief of needing to play small or needing to maintain an image to society's standard, is the way I will put this,
yeah.
it doesn't work because they all have very unique appearances. They all have their scars of the past, their traumas. They're not, they own them, but they don't embody them. And I think that's a big difference that we still don't always see people in the spiritual community fully get. You can be weak, you can have issues, but it doesn't define you at your
Mm,
core. It's part of our story, it's part of our makeup, but
yeah.
it's not the whole everyday life of us. And that's what the Dragon's Fae really push us to understand. Because I usually find people that have worked with them, it's like, oh, this has reminded me of this very unpleasant event that happened in my life. I said, okay, sit with me a moment. Let's unpack that. And we'll run through some scripts if I think they need extra boosting, extra protection, anything like that. But then usually a couple of days later, they're saying, actually, I've just realized I don't need it. I don't need to own that anymore.
Mm,
And I was like, that's exactly the space we need to get you in. And that's where you need to be. We have other dragon phase that are just, if you are someone for, if you're someone that experiences high ups and high downs in your life, then working with Andela is one of the most easy connections to have with the Dragon Fae realm. She's very much has those butterfly wings, has more of a dragon tail and an elf body is the way I need to put her description. Um, but she rides that river with you of those emotions.
Yeah.
She's not going to let you go over the rapids yourself. She's going to keep redirecting you. Every time there's another path, she's going to redirect you down that other path. It's not going to be the smoothest ride because we create those rides for ourselves in our day-to-day lives. But she will literally, prominently bring it forward for you, ease it in.
Hmm.
And that's how she is.
Yeah.
So there's many different ways we can work with the Dragon Fae, and for a lot of people, it can be a guided meditation, it can be a shamanic journey, it can be a healing session. You can also do, I mean, I love working with the Lucy Cavendish deck, Oracle of the Dragon Fae. I think it's a great little starting point for people, but it's a great area to work with, and they're so multi-versatile.
Yeah. So do you have some of those decks with
Oh,
you?
yes. Yes, I do. I have.
Would you like to
Sorry,
sort
I
of
don't know if it's
put,
going to come up with my
oh
background,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah. I
we've
think if you
lost
put
it
it in your
again.
face it works more than
There we
there you go.
go.
There you go.
So it's the Oracle of the Dragon Fae by Lucy Cavendish is one of the
Mm.
big ones. There isn't too much knowledge out there of the Dragon Fae. It's a lot of personal experience, direct channelings. You'll see a couple of blog posts from Lucy Cavendish in the past online, but there isn't too much. And I think it's a real shame that people haven't been talking about them as
Yeah.
much as the dragons. But I love seeing, especially when we come into this balance of everyone connecting into the feminine and masculine energies in life. I think this is a really unique branch of the dragon worlds that needs more exploration because they can connect with so many people on special needs spectrums, body spectrums, LGBTQ spectrums, all of it. It just they work because they accept everyone. They don't
Mm.
have a limitation on who they work with. It's more likely our human minds holding us back from fully working with them. It's not anything else. They're very unique individuals. No person looks the same. No being, I should say, looks the same in this realm. But they really will propel you forward and they will comfort you. They will ground you. It's a nourishing bond if you choose to work within it.
Beautiful. And if somebody was like these beings sound amazing,
Yeah.
how do they start? If no one's ever had that connection, what would you say the best way was to start?
To honestly, if you've ever felt a pull to anywhere like Atlantis, Lemuria, Avalon in your life, you've just had that natural bubbling curiosity, I would say start reading up on that area
Mm.
because usually that's when the Dragon Fae will come into you via soul memories, reawakening, dreams, meditations.
Mm.
And sometimes it can be very simple. It's just I've always felt that pull to that area, that time or place. These guys will show up in the ways that I've just mentioned, but it'll be a very flash encounter, is the way I need to put it. It's literally going to just be you'll see them out of the corner of your eye.
Right, yeah.
Um, and you're like, oh, is that who I thought it was? And then you might reenact a meditation again. Next time they'll come into your line of vision much more clearly and start delivering messages. I always say they're very much like the Kitsune that way. They take their time to
Mm.
build a bond. It's a bond of respect
Right.
because out of the times that they have been disrespected in their lifetimes, they're not going to jump into something right away. But once they study you, and know your energy, and they see you're respectful and you're not pushing the boundaries too much on them,
Hmm.
they come right in and then it's like they'll never leave. That's the best way to describe it. They just settle up, make a home, they never leave. I think when people hear the word fae as well, they instantly assume trickster energy at times.
Yeah.
And nothing could be further from the truth with these guys. They're very real, very honest, very open. They don't have a need to trick you. They want to help you heal.
Yeah.
That's their main mission in life.
And do they? When I work the dragons, I've often said to them, "Is there something I can do for you?" And that's one of the reasons the summits here. I said, are they the same way? Will they ask you to help them do
They
things as
can
well?
ask you to help them, but usually when they ask you to help them, it's honestly to live a more eco-friendly life. It's to make the small changes
Right.
to your daily routines
Yeah.
than to go out and protest against everything under the sun.
Yeah.
They are literally about, okay, let's try to cut down the amount of chemicals you use in your household in your daily life.
Yeah.
Let's try, look, you notice your skin constantly peels on your feet
Mm.
once you've worn something. Let's try and get you into bamboo socks, see if that works better for you. It's the minor changes that are going to have a longer impact they're interested in. And I often find people with skin issues
Mhm.
have dragon Fae lineage as well because their skins are reacting to things that they're in the creams, whatever they're using, the washes. And yet, like myself, some of the natural stuff reacts just as badly. I am not good with almond oil, for example, and can't do anything with it at all. Um, but they will then say, no, this is what you have. They're great at treating allergies too,
Mm.
because a lot of people I deal with, they have food allergies, intolerances, but also just allergies to certain situations and emotions as well, which I always think is a bit and takes people by surprise, I should say. But that's really how they work. So it doesn't, yes, there's ways you can show your respect. Yes, there's things you can do for them, but it doesn't need to be a big offering. It just needs to be a bit of consideration, a little bit change to the routine.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's interesting, yeah, because I've sort of gone down that route myself, where the detergents I use are natural ones, and
Yeah.
I used to eat a lot of meat, and then over time I went almost vegan. I can't quite do vegan, so I like my eggs. But
Yeah.
I found that as I've worked with the dragons, they've asked, not so much asked me, I just felt
Mhm.
it rather than them
Yeah.
saying you should do this, you should do that. I just felt that I should be more natural and do things more naturally and assist nature and have more respect for the planet and more respect for the plants and more respect for the bees. Even as I've been the bees recently, I was like, oh, I shouldn't. I'm mowing the grass. I'm not going to cut that
Yeah.
because that's bee food and
Yes.
little things
I'm
like
very
that.
much
Hey,
that way myself with the bees in particular. It's like, okay, we see all the, I live in very farming, as we were saying before, live in very farming country. And literally, I see all these bees at times when the farmers have just sprayed the field. They're all just falling,
yeah,
falling down. And it's heartbreaking to see. And then you see the other ones that come into our garden, our land, and they are just looking for food sources. So we leave
mm,
that red clover, the dandelions,
yeah.
everything that is just good for them. But at the same time, we've had all these bee flower bombs and everything, put them out for them, and they never take. And you're just like, come on, I'm trying to do my part here.
I've planted some bee bombs as well, and this didn't grow.
Someone said to me the tip with that is actually to put them in the fridge for a couple
Oh,
of weeks and to let them germinate in the
yeah,
fridge
yeah.
and then stick them out in the ground directly. And that's seemingly the way to do it, which no one had ever said that to me before. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try that. So we have
Hmm,
a few
interesting.
batches to try that with actually, but we haven't done it yet.
I planted some strawberries out there, and I was like, the bees can have all of that, and the birds are not. I'm not. They're not for me. They're for
No.
the wildlife.
Well, we have a pheasant that comes up to my folks' front door most days and comes and looks for the food, just to be put underneath the tree with the birds. He gets his food on the ground, they get it up in the tree. And if my father is late, he's like looking, like, where are you? I need some food. So
Cool. So if somebody sort of feels like this really resonates with me, but I'm not quite sure what I do next, and then let's say that they like meditation, they go on a journey. How can they really sort of feel into it a bit more? Is there something they can do? Is that like, oh, I think I've got this Fey lineage. How can they really sort of step into that fully?
how can they step into that feeling? That's a really good question. First is find someone that you connect with, the way that they're speaking their language. Let
Yeah.
them ask you some questions and guide you a little bit
Mm.
to what's really going to work. For some people, it's a very creative endeavor. They find that painting helps them really focus and get those soul memories, that energy back into their life. For
Yeah.
other people, it's like mentoring. For other
Mhm.
people, it's lots of healing sessions and they're uncovering layers. Like I love to do elemental record readings for people,
Right.
just in the same way that people do Agnostic readings, all of
Yeah.
that. Um, I think it was probably the dragons that got me into it about 3 years ago. And I've noticed that each elemental has their own corridor and has their own room, and it looks very different for each one.
Mhm.
But the DragonFae journeys that I've done have been very unique, and they've often answered questions that the person didn't know they had. To why they felt this way in certain situations, why they had this irrational fear
Mm.
of being kidnapped or being kicked out of homes, never feeling like they were able to gain financial stability in their lives, even because things were taken off them or businesses were burnt because they were Dragon Fae. So it really does dive deep into all of that. Again, it's very personal to how
Mm.
things show up for people. So what might work for one individual won't work for another one,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, exactly. We're all different. I find that with people. Some people like going to meditation. Some like sitting under a tree. Some like going on a shamanic journey. Some want me
Mhm.
to almost get to the point where you're hypnotizing them, and everyone's
Yes.
different. Everyone has their own way in, and it's finding your own personal way of opening that up, isn't it? I mean, even
Yeah, it's
past life
finding
regressions and things like that are powerful.
absolutely, absolutely that. It's finding your own way in, as you said, and just finding what works for you. It also
Mm.
needs to be something that you don't feel like you need to set hours and hours of time aside for. It should just be quick, easy. It could be 5 minutes before you go to bed, setting the intention to learn more about your dragon fae or fae lineage that night before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's so simple, and I think it's often the simple things that people overlook. It doesn't need to be, as I call it, all glitz and glamour, all pomp and circumstance. It can be just quick down and simple.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes we think it has to be this amazing ritual under the full moon,
Yeah.
in a stone circle that's 5,000 years old, and I've got to wear a funny cloak. And
Yeah.
sometimes it just needs to be a quick, simple thing.
Yeah, and that's very much how all of the elementals I find work. They make decisions quick on their feet, so they're not needing you to go the full hog. It's great for us. It sometimes makes us feel more grounded, and we
Hmm.
like the extra energy boost of the full moon, working with the new moon to build energy up over the next moon cycle. They don't need it.
Yeah.
We
Well,
need it.
they're more connected already, aren't they?
Yes, they're more
We
naturally connected.
yeah. I think we do it in many ways because it helps open that connection, that portal, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
to that energy. And I think that's why we love doing it. But I think you were saying earlier, it's the fact that they're actually sitting in your living room chilling out now. So yeah,
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
I don't need to. If I need to ask a question, I'll just go, "Excuse me, can I disturb someone's sleep a minute?" So I just I don't really think about it at times. So when people ask me that, I was like, okay, how did I feel back in the beginning? I've got to
Yeah.
put myself back into that mind space. Because I think when people I say to people, it's just as easy as speaking to your best friend.
Mm.
Imagine that you're literally getting them round for a glass of wine,
Yeah.
some crisps, to vent about the world. They're going to listen. They'll
Mm.
take it all in, and then they're going to help you make that plan. It doesn't need to be this big ceremony. It works great when it is, but
Mm.
I think as a starting base, it's just talk. Notice the feelings that come up in your body, what pops into your mind.
Yeah.
Does something make you feel uncomfortable? Sometimes I think people have a great um, time differentiating between resistance
Hmm.
and actually true, I'm really uncomfortable with this.
Yeah.
So I think people need to learn the difference between what they're resisting and what is
Yeah.
just not right for them. Because I think too many people will meet resistance and then say, oh, that wasn't right for me, and I'm running away.
Yeah.
Like, no, you need to feel in that energy. The dragons, if they keep bringing you the same message, I always stand by the rule of three, like more than 3 times in a row. There's something there you need to sit and look at. That's more resistance energy to me than this isn't light, this isn't aligned.
Yeah. That makes sense because sometimes we think we know the best way, and we get in our own way. And
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
sometimes you just need to get out of your own way and trust that the energy over there knows better than you know yourself. Because
Yes.
and also I find the dragons that they see the higher version of you, the version that has gone through all the stuff and removed all the traumas or whatever, or has got
Yeah.
used to the traumas or accepted them, and they see the version over there that you're becoming, and that's what they're pushing you
Yeah,
gently
they want you
towards.
to merge the two. They want you
Mm,
to just bring it all together. So you're fully embodying your truth, is the way I always say it.
mm,
You're fully embodying your truth. And if you feel like as a human right now, you do embody your truth, there's trying to honor your truth without needing to get aggressive about it or really force it onto others at times, I find.
yeah,
It's literally just trying to keep you moving forward, trying to blend the two versions of you. But at no stage should you feel like completely foreign and completely disjointed from yourself. Because I've seen people go through the process and they're like, I don't know if this is really me. I said, well, if it's not really you, take a step back and learn what you looks like and feels like again.
yeah. Yeah, there's a balance. I've been through those stages where you sort of fully jump into the mystical, and I had it when my hair was long,
Yeah,
my beard was extra long, and I was like,
right.
and then
Yeah,
you sort of step back and you go, hold on a sec, I've now lost the me, and
me.
you have to bring it back and balance it. And there's a balancing act, isn't there? You're like walking on this tightrope between too mystical, not mystical enough, and
Yes.
and then you get to what you go, okay, I'm relaxing into it. I'm
Yeah.
working too hard at this. It's just gonna be.
Yeah, I think at times we still fall into that trap of we want to please others. We want to feel accepted in different communities. So we lean into a version of ourselves that's going to feel more natural in those spaces.
Mm,
And yet we have to come back to ourselves constantly and just go, I've just got to please me. As long as I'm a good person and putting good energy out there, and let's be honest, we're not always going to put good energy out there. Everyone has bad days, everyone has mood swings.
yeah.
But as long as 98% of the time we're trying our best here, we're already ahead of the game, is the way I look at that. So for me, it really is just a case of stepping forward and being the best version you want to be in the way that you show up for you.
Mm. Yeah, I agree with that completely. So a bit of self love, a bit of self respect,
Yes.
and worthiness. I think we were talking about that earlier, where
Absolutely.
you need to feel worthy that you nothing is on a pedestal. You're all on the
Yeah.
same level in humanity and in spirituality and all the other beings out there. You need to think of yourself as an equal.
Oh, 100%. And I think that's the main stumbling block for a lot of people. It doesn't matter what realm of magic, what being you're connecting into, it's feeling worthy to make that connection,
Mm.
trusting that connection, and also holding the intent that if they've come to you and they're working with you, they're going to want the best for you. They're
Yeah,
not out there to stir the pot, to cause drama. There is entities and things like that out there, absolutely. But if you're working with a being or a race for a long time, it's like anything else in life. You get to know the good ones and you get to know the bad ones, and the bad ones will show up and you'll be able to dismiss them very
yeah,
quickly.
yeah. That makes sense. Gorgeous, I love it. So, if someone says, "Oh, I like this Victoria lady. I think I need to connect with her a bit more." What things have you got out there that you can offer the community?
Oh, so many things, so many things. Because I literally have, if you go to the intuitivelistener.site, you will find my store. You will instantly be taken into a small selection of guided meditations, recordings. Then you'll be shown a whole heap of one-to-one ways you can work with me. I always say though, if it's your first point of contact, you don't really know what you want,
Yeah.
what's going to mesh your needs best. I always have a let's talk appointment. These are like little 20-minute sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And what I like to do with these is find out about you, find out about your experience, what you feel you need right now. I then run like a sample of the main energies that I work with people on. So you'll get a sample of Dragonfae of the Cosmos, you'll get a sample of Dragons of the Universe, some Atlantis, some Lemurian energy. I want to see what you react to because
Mm.
I'm not going to sell you something or give you something that's not going to fit the best version of you and where you need to be. I want to see the reaction you have, and I want you to notice the reaction you have as well, and then take it from there. I'm not into selling high-end stuff only for it not to be the right fit, and you're sitting going, well, that was a waste of time. No, I'm not about that. I have everything from low end to high end and in the middle. So it really is and I'm always willing, well, my type of personality is willing to work with people. If you need payment plans, no props.
Mm.
That's not an issue at all. I'd rather meet you where your energy's at now,
Hmm.
and then, you know, it's where it will be in the future is a completely different thing. And
Sounds
hopefully you'll feel
beautiful.
more elevated as well.
Sounds gorgeous.
So yeah, so you can find me on the Intuitive Listener on most social media platforms,
Yeah,
basically. And you can also find me via my website as well.
beautiful. And there is any sort of like last message that you'd like to share?
I think if you have dragons, fae, any of these beings coming forward to you, don't be scared to dive into it. We were literally just saying how even the magical and spiritual communities and everyday communities have changed in the last 10 years or so to really noticing this energy around us. I have so many messages from first-time clients that are literally like, I feel like the dragon is stalking me and you just came up on my feed today. Can you tell me more about this?
Mm.
They're making their presence known on a larger scale now than ever. And literally, we are seeing people not just learning about star seed lineages, galactic lineages, they're wanting to learn about their elemental lineages. It's no longer just enough to say, I'm an earth angel, I'm an empath. People are wanting to dive deeper because they know there's more out there for them. And I think that's this case. So if you're starting to get those dreams, those messages, don't get scared of them. Don't think, oh my God, I'm a freak. This is never, no one's going to believe me if I tell. You do have people that will believe you. You do have people that will listen to you. None of it is as unusual as you think. I promise you. So many people have had similar experiences.
Mm. Yeah, that's so true. I hear that so often when somebody says, I felt so alone," and then
Mhm.
they've shared it, and then they realise that there's a whole bunch of other people that have had the same experience. But we don't realise that ourselves because yeah, our neighbourhood doesn't
Yes,
understand it. But the world has shrunk so much because of the internet, and you can
yes,
connect with people all over the place, and it's beautiful to hear everyone's different perspective, and you go, that's my little tribe there.
yes.
Victoria's
And
got a tribe I can talk to because they're
yeah,
talking about things I understand. Yeah.
I love seeing how our tribes are growing.
Mm.
I,
Oh yeah.
for me, I have much more, I find it rarer to find people in the UK that are open
Yeah.
to this. Well, if I'm speaking to people in the States, Australia, Europe, the mindset's completely different.
Yeah.
So I love seeing the communities, the countries, and globally how we're growing and expanding.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the things the dragons always say to me is you guys are all in your little groups, but you need to expand your mindsets to
Yes.
stop thinking, oh, those Americans are this way or those French are that way.
Yeah.
You're all humans, and the dragons are trying to wake you all up so that you realize that actually you are human and it's
Mhm.
you are one. You're one
Yeah.
community. And
If we can get back to what I always call like just soul values.
yeah.
Just if we can just all get back to soul values and notice that we all want peace, we all want contentment, we all want our version of what family life, partnership life, it looks like for us. For some
Hmm.
people, it's just constantly traveling. Whatever makes you happy should just be your goal. It should just be even if you're not doing it all the time, it gives you this amazing, powerful reset. And I think we need to get back to that. And the dragons and the Dragon Fae are amazing at pushing us back to these natural reset modes for ourselves.
I agree completely. Beautiful. Yeah. Alice, one last thing. Anything else? Anything else you'd like to share? Anything coming through?
Anything coming through right now, I think honestly, the start of this year was chaotic for a lot of people across the globe. It hasn't been a smooth start. A lot of people are wondering about financial things coming up for them right now. A lot of people are feeling a nervous energy that they can't pinpoint. Sometimes they say it's a solar storm, sometimes it's this planetary alignment, sometimes it's the newest meditation that they've got that sparked something in them. I think for both the dragons, the dragon phase, and I'm going to include the kitsus in this as well. Right now, it's about you finding a balance for you. Doesn't matter how your life looks to other people on the outside. If you're not feeling secure within yourself, do something that allows yourself to feel secure every day, and it will show up for you in your reality the more you do that. For some people, that could be something basic, journaling, it could be affirmations. But I think we're being also encouraged to discover, like I was saying about daily routines, finding the things in the daily routine on the most, make a cup of tea, but make it with your fresh herbs from your garden, however that looks for you. It could even, and if you don't have a garden, hey, we've got a wonderful window box. Let's just pick a few leaves. That's it's, I think people overcomplicate so much and they don't need to. And for me, that is the main message that comes through is this time will pass. Just keep hunkering down and making yourself feel secure because you can't grow from a fearful place. And you can in some cases, but it's not a pleasant journey. So let's make the journey pleasant.
Yeah, beautiful message. I love it. Cool.
Well, thank you so much for having me here today.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your
Likewise.
time.
Thank you as well.